did you shoot that scene a couple different ways where there was a longer kiss or there was different types of intimacy? And, no, not just about that too, but just between the interaction between them. What were the different ways you guys, approached that scene?
It wasn't really as scientific as that, was it?
Well, first let me tell you,
2-second kiss.
Well, first there wasn't. I hadn't even seen the script, but apparently there was no kiss until Freddie Highmore read it.
This is true. Freddie imagined that part.
I just thought no one would like a kiss. We would tempt him off the edge of suicide, that last thing. And it needed to be at least 3 seconds. That was Everyone talks about the kiss, but for us it didn't, I don't know. Even when we were doing it, it didn't seem to be this massive deal.
No, I mean, I think that for Norma, she's this, she's this broken down lioness, and she's taking care of this lame cub, and it's a life or death scenario. She's gonna give him a few licks.
That's the best answer ever. Some congratulations are in order, I think, for Freddie, who just graduated from Cambridge.
Yes, with the highest of honors, if I may add. Yes.
Thank you for making it possible. It was amazing to be able to combine the two.
It was actually one of the things that was an obstacle we had to overcome at the beginning of the show was, Freddie was very insistent on finishing his degree, and so we actually had to schedule the show with this 6-month window, and so from January until June of this last year, Freddie was actually in residence in Cambridge finishing his degree. What did you get your degree in, Freddie?
Arabic and Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a bit of time in between seasons. I guess I was in Spain, Madrid mostly for the Spanish.
Yes, he's the only star of a television show who spent his hiatus translating documents in a law firm in Madrid. And anyway, so Freddie, I heard when you were actually in Spain, you had a chance to see Bates Motel in Spanish.
Yes, there are quite a few sort of popping up in Spanish language versions, which seemed rather odd to me, and I was a little bit disappointed actually in some of the translations and some of the dubbings. So decided to take it upon myself to redo them.
No, I mean seriously. So Freddie basically came to us and said, you know what? I've just finished. I've got my degree in Spanish. I would really like the opportunity to redub the entire series in Spanish myself. And he did an incredible job. And in fact, I think we have a couple of clips here that we'd like to show you of how it worked out.
And for Vera, I'm wondering, why does Norma prevent Norman from getting the help that he so desperately needs? How much of her is just worried that, he won't need her as much? How much is just rooted in misguided love?
Dan, yeah, I don't think that professional help is in the toolkit. I think that if she... Look, if they may take him away from her, they may institutionalize him. It's not an option for her. And I think she genuinely thinks that she can just glue back the pieces of this fragmented mind and heal him. And she's going to do that, and I think she doesn't trust anybody. She has trust issues. She has major paranoia, and so she's going to do it herself.
No. I mean, first of all, I think that we didn't do as good a job as we should have of keeping her character in the mix in the show last year. So there will be definitely more of Olivia's character in the show in season 3.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess the fact that we have sort of brought it into the contemporary setting kind of gave us, I think all of us, this freedom to sort of leave behind, to some extent, be tied to the Psycho legacy. And I guess there was never any attempt to sort of mimic people, sort of Anthony Perkins, really, who had done so well in the past. And so perhaps that gave you the freedom to kind of move on and not feel so nervous. but at the same time, you just got to sort of throw yourself into everything as you do it, and not try and doubt yourself or doubt your decisions, and kind of trust in the brilliant people that are around you, and they'll guide you to the right path.
All right, well, thank you. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Karen. This is my first time speaking, so sorry if my question's a little off. Just want to say, Vera, my brother loves you. He's in Spain right now studying in Salamanca for Spanish, so if you really wanted me to ask you a question. I guess it's for the entire cast. What made you decide to sign on for the show? Like, what was the thing that, did you read the script, or did you know who else was involved? And you were just like, hey, this is what I want to do for my next project.
It's just a formidable female character, and it's really rare to encounter that. And it was presented to me, and when you receive such a blessing of characterization, you know, I mean, she's a large person, she swings the gamut, and it's like you feel like a trapeze artist when you receive it, and you just thank you just thank the writers for thinking of you, you take it. It was no-brainer.
Okay, you guys are all wonderful, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
All of a sudden I got nervous. Back on the question earlier about why you protect Norman, what are you afraid of? Maybe he's going to be taken away. Has it occurred to you that maybe you're afraid you're an accessory and you're protecting yourself at the same time?
It's a part of it. I'm sure it's a part of it. I mean, that's all in the past. It's been squared away with Romero. I don't think it's I don't think she feels that impending doom. I think that's kind of been squared away with Romero first season. There's an understanding, and there's this pact, and I think that's another thing that makes this relationship with Romero so, that tension between them and that magnetism. They have made a deal together. So, she's not in the habit of trusting people, but she does trust Romero for the moment. No, I really don't think, in all my researching mothers and who give their testimonies on what it's like to raise a child with any neurological dysfunctioning, there's just no right way. There's just no clear way to help make that child better. But
it ends in taxidermy.
But I don't doubt her. I don't doubt her, that yearning. That where she's coming from. She's coming from a good place.
Gotcha. And real quick, I think there should be a really good feel-good Christmas special.
So do I.
And I was just in an argument last night about whether or not the roof of the house is digital. There are a lot of pictures of the roof being gone.
The first year, we didn't have enough money to put the top of the roof on the house. So it was like 2 stories and then just nothing. And then when the show got picked up, everybody was like, we really should put a roof on the house. So it does exist in its full form, and we built it. It sits outside of the city of Vancouver, and there's a lot of skid marks on the road where people are driving down. It's not a public road, so people come around the corner like, what? That's
Can you get out?
During the off season, it's actually fenced in, and there's a security guard, and it's all wrapped in bubble wrap so that it doesn't freak people out.
So there's no chance for photo ops if you're up there?
You can stand outside the fence. Well, actually, you can't. I don't even think they let you park there. You can kind of drive by and take a snappy, but yeah.
They won't even let me in.
No.
My question is for all of the actors. How do you think your characters have developed over all of the seasons?
I guess for Norman, it's been this sort of journey of growing self-awareness, and now at the end of the second season, he's kind of hit that point where he knows what he's capable of. For a long time, he couldn't quite remember, and now he's kind of hit him full on in the face. And I guess that has repercussions for Norma too, that the secret's out, or what everyone else in Norman now knows as well.
Yeah, and for Norma, her big super objective is happiness and contentment and wholesomeness and stability. And she was in search of that first season, and I loved seeing her achieve it second season, and I think she wants to retain it, and it's all it's fleeting now with his enlightenment about who he is. So I don't know where it's going, but
I'm 20 now, but I feel like in those 2 years it was such important years for me growing up, and I feel like the same for Emma as well. Those 2 seasons that you saw her in, she did so much growing up. You know, she got her heart broken, she became a woman, she lost her innocence, and I definitely feel that there's a parallel there between the 2 characters, between me and her.
The interesting thing is, when you make a show, you create a family, a fictional family on screen, but you also create this other whole family that exists behind the scenes, the family that makes the show. And I remember, we cast Olivia on this kind of grainy video that she made in Manchester, England, and Carrie and I were like, oh my gosh, who is this wonderful person? And we cast her really sight unseen, and Olivia, at 18 years of age, got on a plane from England, flew to Vancouver by herself, and to start doing this role, and it was incredibly brave and ballsy thing, and it started this new kind of chapter of her life. And needless to say, other people started recognizing her talent, and now she's been doing all these movies and shaving her head and doing stuff like that. And no, it's just, so there is this parallel journey of not just the character, but the life experience that comes when you make a commitment to do a show together.
So it's a pretty special time, for all of us when we're together, because we get along so well, and add to that, we get to perform or say words that are brilliantly scripted by our 2 incredible head writers. So, but no, for my part, I just love that Romero was not as much rattled by the obvious things like the drug lord or that kind of thing. That's sort of stuff he's dealt with, I guess, throughout his whole career. But what he was more rattled by was this woman who's suddenly come into this town and has bucked the system on her own terms, and she's sort of gotten under his skin, and he can't quite get rid of her. And at every turn, she's in his face, and he can't help but admire her in some fashion, butt heads with her, but somehow kind of like her. So that's been sort of the transformation of my character.
Thank you.